I think it's very impressive about Gülen and Hizmet that they really put their energy where their beliefs are. They don't just talk about the need for interfaith dialogue and understanding. They say we have to build the quality of understanding and knowledge in the world that will help us advance our goal. I do think that there's a lot of misunderstanding about Islam, and unfortunately, one of the wonderful things about the Hizmet movement is that it's a global movement, and it's a civil society movement, which means much fun. It does give. My name is Jack Goldstone. I'm a professor of public policy here at George Mason University. I work on areas of global history, long-term economic change, and also political change, social movements, and even revolutions. The Hizmet movement was something new for me. I had not encountered it before I came to Washington, D.C. But here I encountered it through the activities of the Rumi Foundation. I have a number of colleagues at George Mason University who have been working in interfaith dialogue, and of course that is one of the specialties of Rumi. And so they brought me into contact, and I had some wonderful experiences attending Rumi events, meeting with other people who were involved, and I was impressed with both the open-mindedness and the high academic tone, the seriousness of the conversations, aside from enjoying the people who were involved. So it seemed a very worthwhile group for me to engage with. You know, I've heard some people talk about Hizmet as a kind of growing organization, sometimes looked at kind of conspiratorially. Is it like the Ottoman Empire without the sword, trying to take over territory and spread its reach? I think that's the wrong way to look at it. It's not like the Ottoman Empire, which was a political authority. I think of Gülen more like the great American philosopher Thomas Dewey. Thomas Dewey was an American philosopher, like Gülen's a philosopher, who wanted to make knowledge more accessible. Dewey had an idea of being pragmatic, of turning knowledge into real progress that would shape people's lives. And so Dewey started innovations in schooling, in education. He published books about how to promote education. A movement did form around Dewey and pragmatism to promote education around the world. I think Gülen has just produced a newer version of this. It's not at all surprising to me that people embrace it because education is a universal good. And if I'm a parent and I have an opportunity to send my child to a school, I look, is it a public school? Is it a charter school? Is it a Catholic school? I grew up in a neighborhood with lots of Irish Catholic schools. Most of my friends, in fact, had nuns as teachers, but they provided a great education. So America accepted it. So America, Africa, India, why shouldn't they accept a good educational product? Does it matter that Gülen is Turkish? Does it matter that Hizmet is based in an Islamic background? No, really, it doesn't matter any more than my school child friends who had a Catholic church school, as is very common in the West, or children elsewhere have a Russian school or Jewish school. What matters is bringing people together to learn. And this is what Hizmet promotes, and this is what people are actually hungry for. And so I'm not surprised it's accepted. The fact that Gülen is Turkish is almost a side issue. It's it's nice that Turkey is associated with such a good movement. But if Gülen were Syrian or Albanian, it wouldn't matter. What matters is the beliefs in the movement. That's what attracts people. What strikes me about Gülen himself is a combination of sincerity and belief in progress. In philosophy, there's often a tendency to kind of fall in love with the past and to idealize everything that has been done by the great minds before us. I've fallen into that myself. But what I like about Gülen is he's looking forward. The emphasis on educating the next generation and educating them in the latest science and technology, in reaching out to the world, in viewing groups not in terms of which people are good people, which people are not, but rather where is there good and bad in anything that people do. So I was both surprised and encouraged that when Turkey's relations with Israel started to falter over the incident in the Mediterranean, the ship was seized, Gülen came out and said, look, we don't want to systematically make enemies with Israel. There's a problem here. Let's find a way to solve it. Let's get an apology. Let's accept it. Let's work together, and let's move forward. I thought that was great. So I would say, Gülen himself seems to be someone who is not only on top of the great traditions, but interested in moving us forward and getting us to cooperate in the future. When I think about what Hizmet and Gülen contribute to progress around the world, I think two things come to my mind as most important. One is education. I think it is truly amazing that Hizmet has contributed to education all around the world. Now, they're not alone in that. The Aga Khan and some other wonderful global organizations have also taken a global approach. But Hizmet is active in so many countries and has contributed to strengthening the scientific and technical skills of a whole generation around the world. I think that's going to be a lasting contribution. The other big contribution is helping people understand that Islam is one of many great religions and is always in dialogue with others, other religions, other groups, other political and social entities. So when I think of Gülen, I think of dialogue. And of course, Rumi Forum is my channel to the Hizmet movement. So dialogue is very important there. But I think around the world, the contribution to keeping dialogue open, keeping dialogue moving, keeping dialogue that engages people of different outlooks, that is a major contribution as well. And I think it's going to be even more valuable in the future. So if you say, what's the worst part of human nature? The worst part of human nature may be our tendency to fight against those who vary even just a little bit from our own beliefs. But if you say, what's the best part of human nature? I think the best part is to be able to reach out and embrace people whose views are different from our own, learn from them, and try and find some common areas where we can find agreement. After all, as I tell people, everybody wants to see their children grow up healthy, happy, and successful. Everybody wants their marriage to be strong and solid. Everybody wants their society to be safe and a place where people can look forward to tomorrow and build for the future. So we all want those things, whether we're Muslims, Jews, Christians. And I think the interfaith dialogue and the type of work that Hizmet does in promoting that dialogue is the only way for us to get past these kind of worst parts of our nature and our history and move toward the best. The thing about education, Gülen's program of interfaith dialogue only can work if people have an understanding of the world as it is and of what are the beliefs of different people in different faiths. So interfaith understanding and education are very much two sides of the same coin. I think it's very impressive about Gülen and Hizmet that they really put their energy where their beliefs are. They don't just talk about the need for interfaith dialogue and understanding. They say, we have to build the quality of understanding and knowledge in the world that will help us advance our goal. So the thing about the education, it's not an Islamic education. It's not a Christian education. It's not a Turkish education, but it's a model for a modern education, an education that really focuses on science and technology, which is the source of power in the modern world, frankly, and on understanding who you are and how to express yourself. It is, in my view, all the great religions, at their best, make human beings better human beings. And to the extent that the Hizmet education is designed to make people better human beings, it is a great treasure. and I think part of the best side of the Islamic tradition.
It is imperative that we who believe in love and respect join together, because this really is the only way to make the world a better place. Everything else has been tried and it's not working. And so we need to join together. And that means that we need to join together as Christians and Muslims.
One of the wonderful things about the Hizmet movement is that it's a global movement, and it's a civil society movement, which means people contribute to it entirely voluntarily.